Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome Simon and Jeffery from Defocus to the podcast. Defocus released There Is a Place for Me on Earth back on March 1st via a Rising Empire Records. The guys talk about their musical backgrounds, releasing music during lockdowns, expanding their sound on the new record, and a lot more. If you're new to the podcast, thanks for listening. I'd love it if you subscribed on your podcast platform of choice. You can find links to our Discord server, mailing list, and Patreon page in the show notes or at asthestorygrows.com. Enjoy getting to know Defocus.
Save me now. I have been too low. I've been too low. I've been too low. Till we go from this nightmare. I cannot talk, I cannot think. Take me out of this cycle.
Yeah, so here in Germany, it's actually like pretty dark outside. It's like 8 p.m. So yeah, I just ate, so I'm good.
Yeah. Settling in, ready for the weekend.
Yes.
That's right. Where are you both currently located?
We are currently living around Stuttgart, which is in the southwest of Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, so like 50% of the band is located there. The other 50% is at our hometown in Holland.
We're not directly from Stuttgart, but like the area, like in the, like I don't know, like I used to grow up like 30 minutes from there, and the other guys are like a little bit farther, so they're like 45 minutes from there. But it's kind of in the same area. And that's where we met, and Stuttgart, is like the biggest city around here, so people know where we're coming from. Like when we tell them we're coming from Aalen, it's like a super small city. Like I don't know, like 60,000 people live there, so it's a really small city.
Yeah, it's always easier just to say like I'm from this relatively big city that people know, as opposed to being like, here's my small town no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
The people are like, where? Is that a state? What is the country? And you're just like, What got each of you into music?
Well, for me, I was listening to a lot of music as a kid. So I grew up listening to like 2000s nu metal music, right? I think Simon was kind of the same, like listening to Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and Slipknot, the bands that were and are still big from that era.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like for me personally, it was just like in school, actually, I was sitting with my friends there and I thought like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we, like formed a school band, like school rock band? Wouldn't that be cool? And everybody was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, but I don't play any instruments at all. But guitar seems pretty cool, so might as well learn it. So I don't know. We went from there. It was actually just just for fun, sitting in the school. But I think pretty much everyone from back then is still playing music, and just from that spontaneous decision, really.
What about you, Simon?
Well, I mean, I kind of got into the music the same way as Jeff. For me, it was like I was playing piano as a child, and when puberty hit, I wanted to play guitar and electric guitar and stuff. And so this is basically where I started on my own. And until just some random weird guy came up to me in the music store and asked me whether I want to form a band, which was Jeff, actually. And this is how we came up with all of that, I guess.
Yeah. What led you into being a vocalist?
Oh, I guess it was like in total, like the interest in writing own lyrics and performing vocals, it was always something that I was like interested in doing, but it always felt like such a big thing. And as we started off with like our projects before Defocus in 2013, I was just like, okay, I really want to do vocals, and let's just try that. And I mean, it's been a while now,
Yeah.
almost over 10 years, but yeah, it feels like it's just for me, it feels a lot better than anything else.
Nice. Nice. Because you guys were semi close to Stuttgart, was there a good music scene and like lots of people to form bands with and play shows?
I mean, yeah. Like in my city, not so much. There were like a few small bands, but it was like, you know, like pop, indie, rock kind of music. So it was cool as well, going to like local shows. But after I met Simon from Ireland, and I got to know his city a lot more, I noticed that especially like the heavy music, the metal bands are like more represented in his city than mine. I was actually blown away because we had a small like club. I don't know what I call it, like a venue or something that's called Rocket, where like every weekend was some kind of, you know, like rock music or heavy metal music playing, and bands were playing there as well regularly. And even though I just lived there 50 minutes away, I never heard of that. And that was pretty cool because I think because of that club and, you know, like other clubs as well, of course, there were like 4 or 5 metal bands from that area or from that city. For example, big friends of us in a band called Necrotic are also from that city, and they were making music for much longer than we do, and they really helped us out. So the scene there is not that big as it used to be, but it definitely helped us like continuing with music and doing what we do.
Nice. Nice. Let's talk about Defocus, how this project get started.
I guess I already took something from that answer before. Like, it was actually that moment where Jeff just talked to me at the local music store, because me and my friend that has been there with me just had some band shirts. I guess it was We Came as Romance shirt on, and that was basically the moment for him to ask whether we want to join a band or start a project together. But I mean, that's all about the stuff that we did for like 10 years ago. With Defocus, it was like we really wanted to enhance everything that we started on working together, and create something a new project for us. Which is what brought us to doing all of that in 2019, I guess it was, where we started writing new songs and went to a new direction. Until like the pandemic came and basically brought us back to writing music and not being able to meet anybody for a longer time, which was why we came up with our first studio album then.
Where'd the name come from?
That's a funny story because like it doesn't have any deeper meaning at all. But the way we came up with is, we were looking for like a short name that you can get memorized really quick. So we didn't want any long band name with multiple words. We just wanted to keep it short and simple. So we sat together and we thought, so everyone just write down what you come up with, what sounds cool to your ears. And this went so out of hand because we've had like the biggest list in our rehearsal room, right? So it was like longer than it was like from the ceiling to the floor, like a big list with everything, and we were just standing there like, okay, this is pretty cool and this is pretty cool, and we just kind of gave our votes to some names that we found were cool, and the list was pretty big, but I think everyone was pretty fast, like looking at the name Defocus, and was like, yeah, that's it, that's the one.
I guess it's like for everybody, it was like everybody was able to interpret something into that name, even though we never talked about it that much. And I guess that's just like the way it is until now. I guess Defocus got a meaning for everybody of us, even though we never like discussed a name or a topic that we want to relate that name to.
Yeah. I feel like the era of band names with meaning is kind of over. It's just like, you got to pick something that's not already taken. Like, and you don't want to have something stupid. So
just wait for the moment until you have to pick a band name like the name of Elon Musk's children or whatever, like AX, what the hell?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, I guess.
Start using numbers after your Defocus is already taken, but you can take Defocus 1, 2, or something like that.
The future.
Yeah, Defocus with a 0 as the O.
Oh yeah.
Well, how'd you guys get connected with the Rising Empire?
So that is already like. The guys from A Rising Empire were like also playing in bands, and they were from like the Stuttgart area, and I was like going to shows, like bigger and smaller shows in Stuttgart, and I just met them there actually. We just started talking, and I got friends with them before even they were part of the label, you know. So we've been friends for a very long time, and we know each other. And after they started with the label and got like bigger names, and we got more serious with our music as well. So yeah, I just pitched the songs and everything with our manager to them, and they were like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool, and we know them, they're good guys, and yeah, let's give them a chance, because the German scene, there's like a lot of metal bands, but it's not the same as I would like, you know, like in the UK or in the US with the you know, like modern metal bands. Like I think there are a few smaller ones, but the bigger German bands are like not really modern metal to me. They're more like classic. When you think of German metal, you think something around like Rammstein or something. Sure. Like that's probably the first thing that comes to mind, and there are not that many big modern metal bands. I mean, now there are a lot of them, but it was like, hey, yeah, let's give them a chance. They have a pretty good modern aggressive sound, and yeah, it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, they seem to be like starting to make bigger and bigger waves, and just like outside of the UK and Europe, even like just like Landmarks was over here in the States recently.
Yeah.
I don't think Imminence is on the label anymore, but they're coming stateside. So like a lot of those bands are starting to migrate, and they're exploding a little bit. I mean, every time I get to talk to a band on the label, I'm stoked.
Yeah, it kind of feels a little bit surreal to me. So because I've known them for so long, and now they're like having this label, and even now I like it feels surreal to say like, okay, Landmarks are label mates. You know, they're like the same and we're like so small, and they're like huge, like going everywhere around the world. It doesn't really feel real to me. You know what I mean? So that's crazy if you think about that.
Expanding culture of the pressure of events.
You guys released In the Eye of Death in July of 2021. What was Germany like when you released that album? Were you guys able to play shows on that record, or was it still kind of locked down and still just weird?
Yeah, I guess it was. We had 2 or 3 shows in that year, so like we were pretty thankful for that. But you can't compare it to anything else. Like right now, you just got so much more possibilities to play shows again and stuff. Like those 3 shows were just completely crazy because everybody just waited for going out, going on concerts, going on shows, and seeing some bands live. It was crazy. We never had that big of an energy for so long. It was just crazy. But like with the lockdowns and stuff, it was kind of frustrating that you come up with a new album and you're not allowed to play any shows and only have few gigs, few possibilities to actually perform. And so I guess it's pretty hard to remember all of that. I guess I just pushed everything aside in my head. But
yeah, let's talk about this new record, There's a Place for Me on Earth. Sonically and musically, it's vastly different from your album you put out in 21. Is that just kind of a, like, you were limited because of lockdowns and how you could record and write, and so like you just let go of limitations, or were you trying to experiment and do something different as like this is a reintroduction of Defocus to the world?
I mean, it's kind of a little bit of everything because when we first started with our first album, like we've had an idea in mind and we did our best to like record it and make it sound like we were imagining it in our heads. But I think after releasing that album and writing more songs, I think we got a little bit more mature and more experienced in, like expressing what we have in our minds, right? So I think we've gotten a lot better at that. And we also tried to experiment, because we have like everyone in the band has like different music tastes. Like we don't really listen to that much metal. I think every once in a while here and there it's like pretty cool, but for example, I think Simon listens to like like Nirvana, like old school grungy stuff, like shoegazy stuff as well. I like to listen to a lot of like hip hop and stuff like that, and we wanted to incorporate all these inspirations into our music and make something unique with it, right? And also the things we've tried on the first record, some of them we've tried again, but we were like way better at, like just expressing it and like execute it in the music,
Yeah. It's a cool like cross section where like, I mean, the album is just heavy as shit, but also like you can hear EDM and glitch and house and hip hop and new metal elements, and like it's all there all at once, and it's like it's super cool because like it has a good flow. Right?
Thank you, man.
Yeah, because like the breakdowns, for example, like the heavy stuff we did on the first record, we thought it was pretty good, but it doesn't hit like as much as we would like to, right? And that's why the heavier parts are like even heavier in the new album, and like the experimental parts are a little bit more different than what we tried in the first record.
Yeah. Talk to me about the title of the record, There's a Place for Me on Earth. Where'd that title come from?
Well, I mean, this title is basically something that I've been having in mind for a long time without even knowing it, kind of, because it's something that I really had to deal with a lot. That's kind of more a question to me, like, is there actually a place on Earth for everybody? Because I mean, we all went through hard times in the last years, and so did I. And that's basically the reason for this whole topic for me, because I was always searching for something, and I'm still kind of in that progress, but it is something that I can really relate to. And when I first came up with that idea for that album title, basically everybody in the band was like, "Whoa, okay, let's do that. I guess this can be cool." And it felt like, at least for me, I mean, Jeff, you could probably say something to that, but for me, it felt like they knew what I intended to say with this title and with the idea, and I'm pretty thankful to say that at this moment, that like the guys immediately joined this idea and never came to actually questioning that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a pretty personal title, I think, and it's lyrical wise, it's a very personal album to you, I think. And of course, we know each other in the band so well, and we immediately knew, okay, this does fit perfectly, like into, you know, like the last few months or years, and we can all like resonate with that. And yeah. So, you know, like we all had like some times in our lives where we're like, okay, what are we gonna do next? So I'm finished with my school, and I really have no idea what to do. You know, like I can go in this direction and do that, but is that really what I want? And you know, like it's a struggle that I hear within the band, and it's a struggle that I hear within like all my friends that I have, and that's why I immediately thought, yeah, that's a good topic that we can work with and that we can relate with.
Yeah. Talk to me about the album artwork. Who did the album artwork and where did that concept come from?
Oh, that's actually funny. That's you know, we've had a few ideas we want to do, and we actually talked to a guy called Dan from the UK. I think I found it, or I was like following him because he did the artwork for the last Sleep Token record, like the what was it called?
Alkaline.
Yeah, that's the song off from that record.
Oh, it's a song.
I think it's called,
yeah, but
something with Tomb. I don't know. They did.
This place will become your tomb. That one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the water bubble thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We really liked that stuff, and I just stumbled across his Instagram and I saw his other work, and I just sent him my ideas, or the ideas that we had, and he came up with this interesting concept that we immediately liked, which is that the cover is inspired by horror manga, right? So it's like this story is like there are holes like in walls where people are like hiking and they find their holes, and of course they're first like, okay, this is weird, where are the holes coming from? They're perfectly cut out silhouettes, and they check it out, of course, and they immediately notice that it's like perfectly cut out for them. So this is their place, you know, and I don't want to spoil too much, but of course they check it out and they get sucked in and stuff like that. So it's a short manga, but it's a cool read. It's like a little horror story, but it kind of fits into that narrative, like finding your place.
Wait for my body to last.
Album's out in a few weeks. What's your plans for this year? I mean, you didn't get to tour the last one. Are you guys excited to hit the road?
Hell yeah, definitely. Yeah. We've got some few shows lined up already in Germany, and we're planning some more like shows, maybe a tour like towards the summer, fall. We've been on tour like last year in Germany and Switzerland, Austria, Czech Republic. Yeah, and we kind of want to do this year again, but a little bit bigger, with talking to some other bands to go on tour with. So I'm definitely stoked to play all the new songs.
Yeah. Hell yeah! I mean, it's so fun already to play those songs in the rehearsal, and I just can't wait to hit the stage with the new stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, things have changed so much from when I was playing shows at any point. Like, everything is so much digital. Like, is it easier to take these concepts from the studio and transfer them into a live setting?
I think, yeah, you can do like a lot at the moment. You know, I've been playing in bands for such a long time, and I like to play around with like different guitar effects. A few years ago, I had like this big, you know, pedal board with like 20 pedals with 20 different effects on it.
Yeah.
And that was cool, but that was also like really expensive. And you had like this big pedal board everywhere with you. And, you know, there were a few shows where like cables went out, and I have to check like 30 cables to see if everything is working correctly. It was good when it worked, but it was also like, let's try to simplify our setup. And right now, it's pretty cool with all the, you know, the digital guitar amps that you have and the things you can do. It's so much more easy, and it got so much better in the sound that just saying, that's the way to do it right now. Yeah, and of course, you have to carry so much less when you're traveling.
I just wanna tell, believe there is a place for me. I've lost my faith. I just wanna tell, say there is a place for me. I've lost my
Thanks for listening to As the Story Grows. Our intro music was written and composed by Jeremy Hunt. The As the Story Grows theme is by Bob Nana. If you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and review. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join us at patreon.com/asthestorygrows. Be a part of our community and join the ongoing conversation over on Discord. If you enjoy this episode, share it on social media with your friends. Much appreciated, and thanks for listening.
I never felt so young and alive as when I'm diving into a